Good evening, folks. Red County, Blue Nation, West Cliff, Colorado. Great states of Americans. Stephen Rorick, Mike Boring, James McMahon. Jimmy, how you doing, buddy?
We're doing good. We got some moisture.
Yeah, I heard Donnie Camper said he got 7/10, and Nacho said he got half an inch. So that's what we got last week. This didn't hurt.
Didn't hurt. A little whiteness up on the mountains.
Everything's beginning to kind of get that vibrant
A little
green.
green tint.
Yeah, it's looking good.
It's not Mr. Emerald Valley this right now. I love it when it's emerald.
It's looking pretty good.
Yeah, we're not complaining. We're very thankful. Absolutely.
No, it's just in 3 weeks it can be back to brown.
Yeah, we just got to keep the prayers going and just, we definitely, this whole country is in a drought. The cattle thing is,
I just was looking at some cheesy article on the computer that popped up about the reservoirs, and of course it's put out by mainstream media and climate change. Oh, it's climate change. It's like, let's get back to reality, folks. If they wasn't manipulating the weather, or that we know that they can, it's already a proven fact that they've been doing it, or they can do it. So why don't they do it to help us? It's just another one of these conclusive pieces of evidence that they don't care about our well-being. Because if they did, they would make it snow. So that's my little 2 cents on that part.
well, the climate changes, 4 or 5 times, 10 times a day. And it's changed a whole bunch of times since the beginning. So,
Well, yeah, it was raining, now the sun's shining. That's what's called climate change.
the climate changed. Yeah, it's, no, just got to increase our odds every step of the way. Hopefully we'll get some moisture in cattle country, because that's,
They've been getting a bunch of it out east, it looks like to me. Part of it. Talking to our lady in La Junta, she said they've gotten 2 inches of two rains at 3/10, so they haven't been getting as much as we've been getting.
yeah, listening to Mr. Campbell do that report, he said it's, and then Corbin Wall, he does a big cattle report too. And it's pretty bleak in some areas. Some areas is not so bad, but
Well,
majority of the cattle countries.
my grandma always said the biggest gamblers in the whole world were farmers and ranchers. And something to be said about relying on Mother Nature for your well-being.
Well, the whole world does, and they just doesn't know it.
That's the whole thing. That's what, going back to, if you can control the weather, like, come on, folks, let's get together here and get this deal figured out. Sounds kind of like the Republican Party.
Yeah, Oklahoma, it sounds like they passed some legislation where you better not be spraying around them.
Well, and I think it's bigger than just spraying that stuff, but that's a big part of it, because that's what puts the particles in the air that they can ionize to steer them storms.
Well, it had something to do with about deflecting the sun, and there's all kinds of
That's
goofiness going on there.
Billy Bob Biden Gates is. But no,
I did take a steer in today, or yesterday, and he's hanging today.
I was looking on the thing this morning, and I thought I took a picture, but now I don't see it. Maybe I didn't snap a picture. But Weld County GOP chair has been caught in a sting soliciting child porn.
Yeah.
So once again, folks, about time for people to stand up. Anybody that's got an ounce worth of gumption, worth of anything, it's time to stand up. Or you just gonna let this 24-year-old smug little punk, little funny-looking, funny son of a bitch run in the Weld County GOP, and they caught him. He was trying to do online stuff, and they stung him. The cops stung his ass.
Well,
but how the hell does somebody that's 24 years old get to be the GOP leader in Weld County?
it's beyond me. I just don't get it.
Weld County is, I don't know all there is to know by any means, but that is a very, very, very resource-rich county, and they have a lot of money. And I did see that he was part of the Young Republicans, but really, that's all anybody in Weld County could come up with. That's weird shit, man. Weird.
Yeah, it's pretty grievous. You'd expect that from
Here I do have part of it. I was good. His name is Hunter Riviera. He served as the chairman of the Weld County Republican Party. A position he held as of early 26, and he is official bio, blah blah blah. Lifelong Weld County resident, he was actively involved in local Republican politics, including roles with the Northern Colorado Young Republicans. Arrested in Larimer County in a child predator sting operation. Hello.
Yeah. Folks, it's definitely, we've got a window of opportunity to do some stuff here,
And then we wonder why the country is going down the tubes, and there's people like this in a leadership role. I just can't understand how. It just seems odd to me that somebody that's 24 years old could be somehow got into that chair position.
well,
I guess maybe like Jordan Benson.
there again, nobody's participating in it. So somebody young and ambitious comes along. Maybe they've got, a little bit of lateral movement financially and time.
Some track record of
And-
being in the Young Republicans.
Yep, and then I don't even know what to say. It's just
Well, and that brings up one of our topics here is Joe Oltmann. So that will be on the 30th is the election for that. And his strongest front runner is Jeremy somebody. And I just don't hardly know. We were trying to get a little more prepared. My apologies, folks. When Band.video went down, my whole world has changed. Where I went to look at information by 10 to 15 different credible sources is gone, right? So I'm over here scrambling and struggling, trying to keep up with. I'm just not anywhere where I was as far as information goes.
it was a big hit.
It's huge hit, and I've tried to find some of that stuff on Rumble, and it's completely different, right? Every platform has its own things. Hell, it's half full of commercials. It's just not the same. But anyhow, I'm not trying to make an excuse. I'm just explaining that it's not the same for me as it was.
Right. But getting back to Joe, what is he running for? Who is he?
GOP chair.
The Grand Old Party chair. Okay.
The Republican, Colorado State Republican Central Committee chair.
And it's for the state that runs all of the counties.
All of the counties.
The head person that's in charge of...
Which was Britta Horn, which basically bankrupted us. She and her attorney basically, it looks like they've taken about $500,000. And I mean, they're the complete rhinos, right? They want to do away with the caucus. They want to. The socialism, man, is what it is.
So that's what we have to be on the watch for, is young perverts and then old thieves. Old thieves would be the same thing, and that's why we want the transparency. We want complete. You're doing the public's business. There's no reason you can't just throw all the cards on the table. What's the big secrecy?
Well, this is that same thing that's, in my opinion, we haven't really described it completely and accurately yet. But what is the difference between the Republican Party and the government? Because they ain't the same, folks. They're not. So the Republican Party, you would think that that would be part of the government because they help elect the government officials, but yet it's not. And it's really a strange thing. And to kind of circle back to what you're talking about, the transparency, right? So the transparency in the party is not nearly, I mean, we know the transparency in government is nil as well, but there isn't either one of these things that has the transparency that it should, and people prey on that.
Yeah, and that's one of the things here in Custer County. I believe we've got to get strong enough to say, look, we want to see the checkbook.
Well, and
We want to see we want to see all this stuff. Number one, we've got to regain the trust so that people, whether they're unaffiliated or Republicans, if they're you got conservative values, we've got to get that
and
restoration back.
And this is where we're at, folks. We're not just talking about this. We're actually doing this, and this is what we are doing, right? So, Jimmy and myself and Stephen Robinson and Harold Frank are newly elected PCPs, and one of the focuses of the PCPs is to raise money for the Republican Central Committee. And it's been a real tedious deal, kind of what the big rift was, right? I mean, everybody thinks they know what the rift in the Republican Party is, but I feel that we actually do know what the rift is. The rift is what we've been talking about forever, is all about money and the way that you think money should be handled and spent. 2 years ago, Lincoln Day, they raised a lot of money. Mr. Canterbury insisted that they count the money. Ann Barthrop wouldn't have it. Nancy Drummond wasn't here, the treasurer. She's responsible to count the money. So they didn't count it, and that created all kinds of bad juju within the party. We can't, we're not accusing Ann of stealing, but yet she can't prove that she didn't because she didn't count the money like she should have. Like, there's no she didn't actually break a law. It's just the way that things should be done. Like, why would you put the money in your pocket before you count it? Because then there's no accountability. And that's what they kept saying, to say, well, there's accountability. And I flew off the handle and walked out of the meeting and quit going, because that's the root word of accountability is count. COUNT is the word, count. And they didn't count anything. And that rift, that action created the animosity between Jack and the other people in the party that ultimately led to them kicking him off, even though they were so gung-ho about getting him in there. So where we're at is that the treasurer has resigned, Nancy Drummond has resigned, and we have a lady, Stacy Kish, that I don't think that she actually has a lot of, she's not an accountant by trade, I'll say, right? She's not an accountant by trade, but she likes numbers, she likes accountability, she wants stuff to be correct. And so she has thrown her hat in the ring to be the next, to run for treasurer at the CCRCC. the other side of the faction wants Don Ramsdale to do it. We don't trust Don. Don has been there the whole time and voted for Ann. They don't care that they count the money. And the other biggest stickler for me is they try to say Don knows about Tracer, but, and this is after Nancy Drummond sued Lynn Arrigo over trying to help, then supposedly Don and Nancy even had people come up here and try to show them from Tracer, but they still couldn't get it right and they got fined, right? So the state has fined the CCRCC because they can't keep the book straight. And we're talking like three expenditures a month, folks. I mean, you write a check to Rancer's Roost so we can have the meeting, right? I mean, it literally is like third grade mathematics, accounting, right? I mean, this is the kind of stuff that a third grader should actually know. You got a $10 allowance and you spent $9 and you want some more candy. Well, you don't have enough money to get more candy because you spent it all. That's where we're at with this deal. But so to kind of draw my circle back here, what we have done, Mr. Robinson has already addressed this in a what was the word he used? Gentle, or I think gentle was the word that he used, right?
Kind.
Yeah,
Firm.
an initial letter to Ann saying, how do you expect us to ask for money when you're not transparent about where it's going or what it's used for? And that's where I'm at. I won't put my money in to the Labor Day unless I know that Stacy is going to be the treasurer and she'll keep track of the money. Otherwise, I'm not going to do it. Even though I'm a PCP, I mean, that's how much dysfunctionality there is in the Republican Party right here in Westcliff, is that one of the PCPs that got elected, duly elected PCPs here, we are not going to put our own money in until we know that it is secure.
Damn sure not taking any money from a constituent.
I won't ask anybody for any money. If I won't put my own money in, I sure won't put your money in there.
So when we get that prim and proper,
and so, I mean, time is just getting away from us. Everybody's busy. So on June 18th is going to be the meeting for that election. There's also a PCP position that's opened up. Somehow the gentleman that beat Kathy Lutz, they beat her by a couple.
Johnny?
Yeah, Johnny
Miller?
Yeah, he.
Precinct 2?
Precinct 2. I mean, he resigned, which he had no business in there in the first place. I'm not sure how he beat Kathy initially. Harold mentioned it maybe because he goes to the Valley Bible Church and a bunch of them people, associate that goodness with, and, I'm not saying anything bad about Johnny. He just, he didn't understand what the party was about or the problems we have, and he was not willing to work at it. He's not willing to participate and he told me, well, I'm going to look at both sides of the story till they figured out that I was the one that was supposedly making the supposed death threats to the commissioner. And then, I mean, he was literally, it seemed from my interpretation, I mean, he was basically scared to death almost. I mean, his hands was shaking and everything. And I'm like, dang, dude, really?
Well, I believe they all had to go along with the narrative and totally overreact. I mean, that was just like the fight Iraqi.
Kind of funny. But.
Well, it's kind of grievous that a grown man.
Well, it is. But on the other hand, it's like, it's funny for me because, I mean, I've literally never even been in a fight in my whole life, right? I mean, some people probably can't believe that, but you know how I am. I don't care what you think or what you believe, right? I know what it is. I've never punched somebody ever, let alone all of this malarkey that Jordan fed and all these women fed and Mark Grainer fed and all of this Andrew Zeller and the whole 9 yards of your line of malarkey. But to see this young man quivering, standing there talking next to me when he figured out who I was, it was,
We were all standing up in front of everybody, and
it's funny.
I would.
It's like, damn, dude, you are scared, ain't you? He was shaking like a leaf on a
It's
tree.
either
Boy.
that or they all need to go to Hollywood and get a job, because they're a bunch of good actors.
But nothing against Johnny. That's not where I'm going, right? Because I was as diplomatic as I could be, and I'm like, look, man, you want to talk? You say you want to look at both sides of the story, then you need to listen to what I got to say. But he never would, right? He was too scared of me to even begin to listen. And of course, he'd already been fed to Kool-Aid. But anyhow, so that position is going to open up as well. But kind of back to Joe.
So let's amplify that a little bit. The PCP, and that's Precinct 2. Harold Frank is the PCP guy there. So if you know what district you're in, you want to throw your hat in.
Well, so supposedly Kathy has thrown her hat back in.
Okay.
I mean, and that's what, we're not taking anything away from anybody, but this is a very calculated maneuver, folks. I mean, it's kind of like on the national level, right? You don't want to split the vote because we barely have enough votes to keep it going as it is. We're just now beginning with Taylor getting the vice chair has helped some.
Immensely.
What it really helped is it gives us more credibility. And it's not like I'm not looking for credibility, right? I already know what I'm talking about, that I'm pretty well on the right track here, or I wouldn't be talking about it. This is not for fun, folks. This costs me every time we get on here. Not to mention all of the hardware and the software and the subscriptions and all of that, but I got stuff to do, right? I mean, I'm a busy guy. I have things to do besides just get on the weekly podcast and discuss stuff about stuff just because I'm bored, right? That's not where I'm at. It's work to do this, and it costs. There's a cost associated with spreading this information to you. So it's real, and that's what I'm saying. I don't need credibility because I already know that I'm right about this stuff, or I wouldn't be in the middle of it doing it. And that's what, we'd appreciate if you'll support us in any way you can, which is basically means, you supported us at the caucus, which is the number one.
Absolutely.
That was the number one thing of how we know that people care about what we're doing, because they showed up and voted for us.
Absolutely. And we're trying to get that outreach. We were going for that list, right? People that went to the.
Well, yeah, so that's a really funny deal.
Another funny deal.
So they have what they call a protected voter. And we've already talked about this, so I'm going to talk about it again. It's nothing new. But Lisa, I've asked you before why your name wasn't on the voter roll, and your mom said, well, she don't have to answer that. Well, come to find out, you're a protected voter. So it just is what it is. But we can't get the emails.
The rest of them.
We can't get any of the emails because of you and your little whatever. However, whoever that was checking the people in, right, didn't do it right. So now your mom says we can't. Ann says, the chair of the Republican Party, well, you can't get the email list because there's protected voters on there. And I'm thinking to myself, boy.
Well, that's one of the reasons, getting back to the head of the.
So we do have the, and that's where back to Joe Oltmann. We got the attorneys on it too again, right? We'll see if they can legally keep us from looking at the list. And if they can, fine, right? We know most all the people that came anyhow, and we can circle back around and chase them down and try to make contact with that. But it's like, why can't we get the list of people that came to the caucus? And because the Republican Central Committee is hiding that from us because of this little stipulation about protected voters. I'm just like, man, what a load of donkey manure.
It's just another,
When it's just what they do, right? Oh, this is our little club, and we're the boss. Well, we'll see what Corporon says. We'll see what Randy Corporon says about how you're treating running business. Back to Joe Oltmann. That's one of the main things. What his campaign is that he is going to get rid of all this little two-bit malarkey with all these Republican parties. I have a
64 counties, and he's got a heck of a 90-day plan. If he gets elected in there,
So in all the straw polls, he's winning 5-1 over Jeremy somebody.
boy, that's huge. Yeah, I can't remember his last name either. It is what it is. I forgot that was even his first name. But no, at the end of the day,
Let's see this.
we're gonna break this thing and get it right. The group of people basically took over the caucus because of the time that was spent, and that's the.
I wished I knew that if this was worth it. I mean, I can. If you're listening, Mikey, hopefully I'm gonna send you. I'm gonna send you this to the Red County. And maybe you can get that up there. I know Mike's busy. His oldest or his second oldest daughter is graduating this weekend. So come on, you son.
Yeah, everybody's busy, and that's another thing that we've got to watch is.
So anyhow, there's links here to Joe. Let me read this. I mean, it's kind of long here, but we need a party of the people, for the people, by the people. Members, we are exactly 12 days away from the vote on May 30th. I've been traveling all over Colorado, and the message I'm hearing is identical everywhere. People are tired of the political theater and tired of losing graciously. We need a party for the people. We must reach directly into your communities, a party that comes to you and asks, what do you need? It's time to press forward, work the problem tactically, and be completely mission driven. May 30th isn't a finish line, it's a day zero. November is only 6 months away, which means on May 31st, execution has to start immediately. We need to hand back the reins to the people. As a state party, we have the ability to be heard. This is not hope, it is something that we can accomplish. We are going to earn the right to be the party that you will be proud of. We want to make sure that we have a party of the people, for the people, by the people. Tonight at 5 p.m., this was on Monday. And again on Thursday, I'm getting on a call with you. So he's offering to get on a call that is open to anyone that will attend. And that's why we're going to try to post this link. I'll see if Mike can, like I said, I know he's busy, but maybe he can just post it on the website real quick this evening so that you can get that link and potentially maybe tomorrow get on there if you want to. I mean, I would like to. I don't know what's going to happen. It's only for an hour long. I don't know how hundreds of people can get on there and then.
So it's mostly listen and then comment when you can. But a lot of it's good listening.
Yeah, Mike said he would put that on there for us. So, I don't have a canned presentation, a script, or a slide deck. The floor is 100% open for your questions, and no topic is off limits. You bring the hard questions, and we'll talk about whatever you want to throw at me. This race comes down to who has the leadership background to represent you, manifest change that is good for your family, and give you the best chance to thrive and survive inside the state of Colorado. My focus is entirely on three things. Fixing our fundraising. We don't win with paper swords. I speak the language of enterprise donors because I show them results. We need $15 million war chest and a 70-30 funding model so that your money actually goes into the high-impact media to crush the opposition, not into consultant markups. Number two, revamp this broken operation from the ground up. You can't build a skyscraper on a swamp. We need a full audit and real SOPs. We're going to reform the system that allows you to have a voice at the legislative office. The state party's only job is to provide the 64 counties with the data and tools to win locally, not to get in their way or build a personal kingdom. Number 3, bring in young leaders. I've said from day one that I'm giving you 2 years and 9 months. We need a young men and women in leadership and in office more than ever. Look at Cole, a 21-year-old I just wrote about who represents the next generation of leaders. He has the courage, commitment, and absolute determination to win. This is an army of young men and women just like him who are ready to run into the beaches of Normandy to take this state back. We have to give them a seat at the table and give them both the ability and the means to execute. We launched the Innovation Hub, mentor them, and hand off a highly functioning machine. I'm not here to hide behind sound bites. I want to hear from you. Here's the info for tonight, and then Thursday night, tomorrow night. So that link will be on the website, folks. You can get on there. You'll have to paste it. You can't just click on that link. That's not how that's going to work. We just didn't have enough prep time or whatever. Most of you can print and copy and paste, right? Copy and paste that link into your browser, and then it'll pull up for you. And to finish this off, it says, do me a favor and forward this email to any other SCC members in your circle. We need everyone on these calls this week. If we're going to build a real machine, we need everyone to ask the hard questions and get aligned before May 30th.
That guy's serious.
And here's one of the things that, so what he's after is to weed out what some of these, and I'm not trying to come at our party sideways, but our party has a hell of a problem. And we're addressing that right now. And you want me to be the fundraiser? I volunteered to be the chair of the fundraising committee for the CCR, Custer County Republican Central Committee. But I will not ask for a penny, or I also will not put my own penny in until we get the finance straight. Just not happening. So, with that being said, it's in everybody's best interest to get Stacy Kish to be the treasurer of the CCRCC.
Absolutely.
And so, this is a plug for her, but it's also, it's a gear. To me, Stacy has I like Stacy, or I'm able to talk with Stacy. I think her personality is congruent with me, or where I think about stuff. I can talk to Stacy, and that's what I need. And it's not that I like Stacy or I want Stacy. It has to do with Stacy is a qualified individual to take this on. She will tell you her chickens. She has a spreadsheet on her chickens. If her chickens don't make money, she doesn't keep them. She's not about losing money of any kind. And she's already stated, if I'm the treasurer and you want a fundraiser and you don't have any money to buy the stuff that we need to and nobody will donate it, then we're not having a fundraiser. And that's where we're at. So, Ann, I'm just wholeheartedly explaining this to you. Joni, I hope you're listening this evening, right? This is what we're really up against here. And of course, I'll put out an official email addressing this stuff to you ladies. But we cannot have a fundraiser until the money's accounted for. Nobody's going to put any more money in. You guys might have your own little clique of people that think that what you're doing is okay, but the rest of all of us don't. The people that the 55 votes that Robinson got and the 50 votes that I got in precinct 3 do not appreciate the way that this stuff has been going down. They will not donate until things are squared away and until they know that the money is in somebody's hands that is not going to squander it. And I don't know how much truth there is to this because the tracer is not updated, but according to Stacy, last year's fundraiser, they spent about 10 or 11 grand and made about 10 or 11 grand. She said there's $300 and some in the hole. From what she can see, not everything is complete in Tracer, which is completely asinine, right? You're making so little transactions, why can't you just keep that up to date? The last 2 treasurer's reports had 6 checks written. And 4 of them are for the Rancher's Roost to have the meetings.
So we're talking about checks being wrote. How about checks coming in?
That's
That's the other side of the coin. We'd like to be able to see the income, the debit and the credit.
well, and we do want to see that, and that's what I mean. This is like third grade, and not to mention this is the whole problem with what's going on at the county building. We want to see what you're doing with the money, Bill. I know you don't think that we're good enough, or that we're smart enough, or that we even deserve to look at our own money, but we do, bud. That's our money, not yours. And we've had it. And Mr. Oltmann is going to see to it as well, just like Mr. Corporon. Like, we've had enough of your grifting and drifting and stealing. So whatever you got up your sleeve, you just well empty that out at the door and come ready to go to work and get to business, because we are just not going to put up with it. If you honestly think that we're supposed to raise a bunch of money so that you can have it for whatever you want it for, not happening. I mean, there's a huge discrepancy on that tracer, and like I said, it's not complete, but it's about to be complete pretty quick. I mean, their quarterly deadline has to be filled in. Oh, just FYI, right, Stacy now is in control, or will be shortly. Taylor Lopresti has asked her to run his tracer account for his commissioner campaign. I mean, he doesn't have that big a campaign because we did all the groundwork beforehand. Taylor's already the commissioner, folks. We made that happen at the primary election, at the caucus for the primary election, and he's running unopposed. I mean, there might be a write-in, but the chance of them beating him is, there's never been a write-in ever that's won before, so I doubt that it'll happen anytime soon.
And he's the best qualified person that I've seen since I've been here since '98. And he's definitely got the personality and the
He's right up there, in my opinion, with Kit.
He has the
He's right in there with Kit Shy. I mean, I know some people are irritated at Kit they think that something has happened and he's done something with the appraiser value or this or that or la la la. But I mean,
here nor there, he's well spoken. Kit is well spoken, and he's knowledgeable. And he doesn't fly off the handle. He's level-headed, and these are the traits, that Taylor possesses as well. Very level-headed, very sensible, understands his duty. That's the key, is understanding who's your duty to. And we lose that. Somewhere along the line, it seemed like the duty goes just to the employees of the county. My duty is just to keep that person employed and make sure they're okay. That's what I've observed. And that's at the cost of the constituents.
yeah, it's going to be a whole different
But
deal.
it's coming around, and we want to win your trust. We want you to be involved and you see what's going on. Because if you see something that's gone awry, as an individual, as a constituent here, and your taxpayers' money being used, you have the right.
And not to disagree with you, but I'm not looking to win anything from you, let alone your trust. This is hard set numbers. We know what we're doing, and I don't care if you trust me or not.
Yeah,
I don't care what you think.
Yeah,
I know that my math is sound, and that's all that matters. My personality doesn't count in business. It's all about numbers here. That's all we care about. If Nancy could have kept track of it and would have done a good job, would have been fine with me, but she just doesn't. And she didn't. And she won't. You're going to sue Lynn Arrigo because he tried to help you and you were threatened?
And that's the aggravating part, that we've had to go through that stuff and watch that kind of behavior. It's kind of disturbing. I did talk to old Lenny.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you get along all right?
He's getting along pretty good. He's doing well.
You talk to him on the phone or you seen him?
No, talked to him on the telephone. I called him. Just checking on him. He's up in age pretty good. But he's a fine feller. An accountant for 40 plus years. I mean, a real accountant.
Yeah, and I mean, we've talked about this before, but I mean, this is just not a bean counter. We're talking about a system builder. These systems are so elaborate and so complex that the people that sell them can't even work on them. And there's been, I mean, my good friend Robert Miller was telling me about Arctic Cat. When Arctic Cat changed one of their software deals, I mean, they almost went bankrupt because they couldn't take in or give out any money for 6 months because they switched this stuff and it all went haywire. Lenny is a master at making these machines, these systems work properly. And it's still, I mean, it's water under the bridge now, but I mean, he offered to help for free, and Lucas, maybe rubbed Lucas wrong or whatever, but the fact of the matter that we didn't get this done is very irritating. Lenny offered to help it for free. I mean, you're talking about a couple $100,000 at least to try to sort through this mess.
Well, the monetary gift that he really gave when he did the audit for the tracer for the CCRCC, I don't know how many hours he had in that.
Well, I mean, what I heard, and it's around a $10,000 to $12,000.
And that's what I was going to say. It was quite the gift that this man took out of his life.
And he gets sued.
And he got sued for helping. And when he gave the report, I've never seen a more eloquent speech and how he gave it and he delivered.
He wasn't pointing fingers at nobody. He just said,
was,
this is the numbers. This is how it's not all here because you didn't have it all there, ladies. You're not, you don't have it squared away.
And he was helping. But when it's almost unfathomable what took place.
The whole rigmarole rift and with Mr. Jack and the whole 9 yards is all about money. Over piddly money. 10,000, 15,000. This is little boy money. We're not talking about the $10 million budget that the county has. I mean, the amount of money is so small here that it shouldn't even be in question.
Right. There's procedures that you got to take place, and there's, the tracer's like a control joint.
Well, yeah.
That should keep everybody upright and honest and transparent. But if you're doing something that looks suspicious, even if you're not.
If you don't, the whole thing is it's just like for what Virginia says about the grants. Well, I'm not going to do it that way because that ain't the way we've ever done it. What you're trying to do is you're saying that you're smarter than the law. These grants are specific. They're basically, every grant almost needs its own bank account. It needs its own, the money is only supposed to travel from this grant to the items of the grant, not into the general fund. But they have been doing that for a long time. And if we ever get in hot water, I mean, I wrote an article in the Sentinel, I don't know, it's been a year and a half ago now or whatever. If we get in a clawback, if we actually get audited by the state, which what Bill has done with this little shenanigan he pulled with buying septic supplies with the county tax ID number, if we ever get deep enough into an audit and they figure out how we've been doing these grants, there's a potential possibility that they can pull a grant clawback. And if they claw that money back, we will be responsible for that, to pay them grants back. Well, hell, you already blowed that. It never was in its own little, I mean, I'm saying bank account to try to simplify it, but so if you had somebody like Lenny that actually knew how to run the CIC software, then he could put that grant in its own
number,
its own hole,
its own line.
Its own entity inside the system, just like a bank account, its own entity. It's its own standalone project. It doesn't mix money with other monies. Lenny could have easily handled that. But our administrators don't want to because, well, that's not how we've done it before, and I am the treasurer, and I'm going to do what I want to do. And of course, the commissioners just go along with it, and everybody goes along with it, and Braden Wilson gets his check, and all of this horse malarkey. But we are going to stop it at the CCRCC, or we will not raise any more funds for these fundraisers. I'm the chair of the fundraisers, folks. Ann asked me personally if I would do it, and I said, yes, I will. I would be happy to do it. Robinson is my vice chair on this deal. We will not raise a dime until the money is accounted for. And that's why we all support Stacy Kish to be the treasurer, because we know that that's what she cares about. That's what she does. That's what she is. She wants the money straight.
And she understands ethics and being above reproach and not creating a suspicious environment. Those are critical when you're doing the public's business.
And it is, but for me, it's one of them things where she don't even have to think about that because that's the way she is. It never crosses her mind, well, I have to be above reproach or I have to be ethical with this. It never even crosses her mind because she already is.
It's already built in at the factory.
And so, like, that's the whole thing, about, well, we got to take ethics training. It's like, damn, really? If you need to go to ethics training, you're not the right fit for the job.
And that's what they do in Florida. I was looking that up, and they require.
And that's what I'm saying.
And
you are not the right fit for me.
Right. No.
As the ringleader.
Period. Yeah.
As what little ringleader that I am, if you got to go to ethics class and learn how to do it, I mean, if you can't already go in there and pass the test without learning the material, then you don't get the job.
No, that's kind of my take on it. All I was doing was bringing up, that's what they do in Florida, because we have a derelict society.
Derelict. And that's what's so derelict that Jay Prince tried to bring it here, and Bill and Tom said, no, we don't want nothing to do with no ethics. Shit, don't be trying to tell us nothing. I'm full bird colonel. You can't tell me shit about ethics. I command you.
I'll give you an Article 15, boy.
So anyhow, Joe Oltmann, what he's going to do is, and this is what I've heard from some of our people that know more about it than you and I do. I wish we were a little more prepared. I didn't know what to talk about. We needed our topic list a little bit earlier than sometimes. Sometimes I have a little more time. This time we needed to get it early because our folks have, this is all donation, right? We're not getting paid to do this. So, we all have lives to live. We have jobs to take care of. So when they tell me, well, we need to go ahead and get this taken care of, I just was kind of drawing at straws a little bit.
I did a little bit of research on him. He's married. He's got a couple kids. He lives in Evergreen. He's been pretty instrumental in some software companies and some IT stuff. He's sound like he's a self-made man. Sound like he's got some wealth about him, which is a plus. He runs that podcast too. He's got a podcast that he runs too.
So here's another thing that Harold has put out. So Harold Frank, PCP2, has been and nominated him as I'm going to call it the outreach or the party building chair.
Yeah, I seen that.
And so he had written a letter, and then actually Stephen has, what they're trying to do, folks, is what irritated us the other night. I shouldn't say irritated. Irrited's a little harsh, but it's maybe irritated is the right word. It's
pretty sure it is.
It's distracting. And I mean, so here's the scenario, right? So these candidates, House District 60, you have Matt Arnold, you have Jennifer, or not Jennifer, Michelle Gray, and you have Tim Bennett, and then another gentleman, Stephen Barton, I think. He was running for the school district part of stuff for the state, but these other ones, House District 60, and then SD, or no, it's CD7, right? Congressional District 7 against Brittany Peterson. Brittany Peterson is trying to, of course, she has, everybody in Silver Cliff loves her because she offers to build a new Main Street. And yeah, she's just funneling the money. Like, I mean, she's
doling it out.
Yeah, she's a Democrat. Well, where I'm going with this is that, so these folks drive up here a few hours at night to come up here to the CCRCC and speak. And they've done it multiple times. They were at the assembly. They were part of them was at the caucus. They've been at all the CCRCC meetings. Well, they've just been speaking to the same people. They're not speaking to anybody new because the CCRCC they won't release the list. We can sure invite everybody to Liberty Rocks, but we won't invite anybody to the CCRCC.
Crazy.
And so what Harold has said, well, let me read you his letter here. Hi, everyone. I wanted to check with you all what you would think of putting on a candidate forum where we invite Republican voters that have not heard the candidates yet, especially the candidates that are in a race at the primary election, but also other candidates. As I mentioned in our last meeting, there is no point at all having these candidates come from as far as they do to talk to the same people every time. I mean, we've already heard them talk four times. We are truly interested in getting these people elected and promoted, and we would have to invite the people that they haven't heard of them yet. I'm not sure where we would get the emails from the participants of the precinct caucuses who showed by their attendance that they are interested in the Republican movement and other past attendees of caucus. Since we are not getting the contacts from the executive board for no logical reason at all, that's back to what I talked about, right? It's all because there's a couple...
He's spot on.
Couple whatever protected voters that, like, so they should have, if they were really protected, the people that were checking them in should have took their name off the list then. I mean, it's just a Donnybrook, right? I mean, this whole thing is just full of incompetence, right? It just is. Anyhow, there was also no disclosures at the precinct caucus that the participants' contacts would be handled anonymously. It makes no sense at all why would you even put your email down there unless you want somebody to contact you, for crying in the night?
Yeah, you're wanting to get it.
Oh, it's a big secret. We're going to put this in our piggy bank and hide this for something we want to do.
You took over the caucus. These are your people, Steve. We can't have your people in here. We were doing just fine until you people showed up, Greer.
But you wasn't doing just fine because you don't have no money.
Well, they don't have the community support.
You have no money, and that's what the Republican Party is about, is to raise money to support candidates. There is at least 3 candidates that need our help, and we don't have any money to give them because of the fundraising action of the previous administration. And Andrew, Joni, Nancy, Lisa, Dawn, all we're in charge, and we have like $2,200. How are we going to donate anything to anybody?
We spent more than that on a lawyer just trying to combat these people to get them to do what was right in the law. That's the crazy thing that's going on here, folks. So we're in it to win it. We're not here just because we want to be here. There's a lot of things I need to be doing right now.
So here's Harold's question. Would you guys like to be interested in putting something on like that together before the primary election on June 30th? And where could we get Republican contact info? Okay, so then actually Lisa responds. Lisa Kidwell says, I think this is a good idea. If the candidates are willing to do it at this point, I know their schedules are pretty packed prior to the primary. Facebook and our website is a good vehicle for conveying information to the citizens as well. It is, but yet it hasn't done anything. So what you want us to get off Facebook and the website, there ain't shit on the website, Lisa. There's no kind of contact information at all. None. Absolutely zero. So Stephen Robinson, he says, hi, Harold, I'm willing to support this effort and work to get out the message through Precinct 3 and others as needed. I believe we need to hear from these candidates on a larger scale and energize the party so that people, Republicans, conservatives who have become independents begin to believe that we can turn Colorado back to red. Tim Bennett's numbers encouraged me the other night, and I believe that many Republicans and independent conservatives don't see us taking the state and the counties back. We only need 30,000 votes to make this state red again. The problem is, folks, is what Oltmann said. Number one, you can't build it on a swamp. The money is trashed. That's what's happening. Our same thing that's happening here is what Britta Horn did to the top.
The enemy's inside.
You can't keep the money straight. There's too many thieves.
The enemy's
And
inside.
I'm not saying any of our people are thieves, but it's one of the things that's on the Tracer account that we can't get an answer for is why did they pay Don Ramsdale for the band and they also paid the band the same amount?
Well, I try to get that information. Yeah, I mean it's just suspicious.
That doesn't even account to how hard Jimmy tried to get the information for the fund for the
Digital advertising.
the digital advertising. I mean,
For the caucus.
let me pose this to you, and you make your own conclusions. Ann said, well, it didn't work as it was supposed to, and they gave us the money back, and blah, 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 and I have all this stuff, and she had a pile of papers on her podium up there on front, and said, I have everything we need right here, but she wouldn't let Jimmy look at it. So you tell me, how transparent is that? She didn't even say, well, I left it at home or whatever. She has it right in her hand, but she wasn't going to let us look at it. Like, who do you think you're kidding, man? If you actually had the goods, you would be more than willing to let us see. My number one thought process is that you're pulling our chain. You just have some papers up there to say, hey, looky here, I have them, but no, you can't see them. Really, that's a semi-load of bullshit. It is so far ridiculous.
It's
as you can tell, my blood pressure is getting up a little bit, right?
Stephen, it circles back, to the fundraiser that we had out here where, Jack being the chairperson and responsible to Tracer, he's personally responsible.
Responsible.
He asked, and it was his duty to say, wait, don't leave. I have to make sure this is accounted for before we leave this right here.
And
Whew, see you later.
Ann says, no.
Instantly now you've created an environment of suspicion. That's all. You should have said, I want to protect my own integrity and make sure that it was done accordingly and upright and thoroughly, where there would be no reproach.
If I was counting the money, you better get a video recorder on it, because you're not going to try to tell me that I did anything wrong. You're not going to do that to me. I will make sure that I am covered.
Absolutely.
But that's not the way they think. And then I had to get after Brian Thomas. Terrible. I finally left. He's like, well, it's accounted for. I said, you didn't count shit. You didn't count it. It's not accounted for, bud, because you did not count the money. What part of accounting, the root word is count, and you didn't do it? But it's accounted for. How can it be accounted if you didn't count it?
So they did count it somewhere along the line. But what I'm going to say, there's a time and a place when the counting should have taken place in front of the individuals who were responsible. That's what didn't take place. Once that time and that space was vacated, now you've got a vacuum of suspicion of going, what took place?
And what you're talking about is legitimate too. Jack is the one that was responsible. His name is the one on Tracer. He's the one that is in trouble if it doesn't come out right. It's not like, well, I just wanted to double check you because I don't believe you. It's like,
that's
no,
not what it's about.
Yeah, it's
That's
my
not-
responsibility.
That's not what it's about at all.
And that's what went down, folks. That is the whole dividing line that Ann still to this day doesn't understand. I think she probably does, but she just doesn't want to admit it.
Well, it's coming. It's going to come to a head, one way or the other. It has to. We can't stand for this kind of behavior, and it continues.
It'll be what it'll be. If you don't want to be accountable, then there will be no money. It's that simple.
And it almost seems like that'd probably be okay with it. I don't know where they're at with all this. I don't know if they're rhinos working for liberals. I don't know what is going on in their mind. The Justice Center, I knew that was a big divider. And Ann was a big proponent of all of that. And I don't think she
still
wanted,
is.
And still is. She didn't want people coming.
They still don't want people, and that's how many times, folks, have we talked about they want to say that they're going to spend this grant money to try to educate the people, but yet they won't tell anybody when the meeting is, and then they try to change the meeting so nobody can come. But yet you need to vote. You have to have the people's votes to get it done, but yet you don't want to invite the people because you don't want to show them what you're doing. It is the strangest damn behavior ever.
It's beyond me. Here again, the law really comes down to reasonable. What would a reasonable person do?
What it really boils down to is it's delusion. That's what that's a liberal mentality. They've already determined that a liberal mentality is a mental disorder because you are not thinking squarely and you're not thinking with mathematics. That's the whole Common Core math, and that's whole socialism and all this. The downfall of society all has to do with you can't pull your head out of the dark spot behind, right? You have to.
Well, and it's aggravating. So what we need is we're getting competent people coming into the party that's going to have strong leadership, transparency.
And like it's make or break. You're either going to do this, you are either going to get Stacy in as the treasurer, or there will be no funds raised.
None. There will be
just
public outcry.
I hope you're listening, Joni.
And public pressure beyond unimaginable. You won't be able. This is a serious time in the history of our country, and each county is going to count. Trump was saying how he won 2,600 in some of the counties, and what's her face won 500. It comes down to county by county, and we definitely have got to be leading properly in this county. And hopefully it rubs off on some of the other counties.
Well,
and with Joe Oltmann at the wheel, I think the inspiration,
it's
the new leadership is going to make that happen.
Well, but the thing is that we're making it happen. I don't need somebody else to make it happen, folks. We're doing it right now. We have gotten into a position. You will count the money, or we will not raise any more money. What do you want, Ann? Do you want the whole party to fall flat on its head as you as the leader? Because that's where we're headed, unless you make some serious changes here. And this is not a threat, it's a promise.
Well, it's got to happen.
Nobody's going to put up with it. My dear friends, Clint and Stacy, own the Custer County Supply, they donated a very nice rifle. They don't even know where the money went for that. And they're so disappointed, they'll never have anything else to do with it until it gets squared away. They're one of many people.
One of many, and we could do really well here. There's a lot of beautiful.
There's a lot of money here.
Good people willing to be involved and get on track and support transparency.
They were so mad at Jack because he was trying to give these candidates money, and some of them as much money as was allowed, which is only like $2,200 or something. I can't remember exactly, but after we made that money, when he was the chair, when they had the first Lincoln Day, the first time that they've ever raised that much money, I think they got almost 15 grand or something. By the time it was all said and done, they netted like 13, I think. We all voted to give this money to these candidates. Well, part of the crew didn't want to give that money. They want to hold it back and have a Christmas party. Oh, this is our money. We need this money so that we can pay for our own little fun time. That ain't it. It ain't happening. The PCPs are part of the fundraisers. We have 4 out of 6, and one of them's vacant. And Lisa, I hopefully we can come to an understanding here, and you can see that what we're doing, it's nothing against you and it's not against your mom, and it ain't about that. It's just about the money. And it has to be square. It will be square or it's not going to happen. We have enough control over it. I happen to be the chair of the fundraising committee, and I'm not going to raise a cent. Mark my words. We will not raise a cent.
No.
Until it can be accounted for and explained where it's going to be spent. And not just trying to powder our noses or blow hot air up our skirt either. It will stick. This is a set SOP procedure, just like Oltmann's talking about.
And that was one of the things, I read that response, I think it was Ann responding. And it was only the ones that have authority can look at the books. And I was kind of going, people, that's people's money they're giving it to.
Well, and see, that
has to be, to me.
But that's
what are you doing? Why can't we, why can't we look at that and see that it's clear and well accounted for? And
I can see clearly now. What the heck happened here?
oh goodness.
I can't see good enough to even see the screw. That's bad juju.
Well, I'd give you mine, but I don't have it. So Oltmann, I did a little bit of research on him, and I remember Harold talking very highly of him.
I need a stick to hold it up like the aristocrats.
Oh boy. So yeah, his education and commerce, faith. He knows there's the 64 counties are going to really have to develop into some leadership, get strong leadership in all of them, and that transparency is one of them. And he says leverage data and technology, the tools for ongoing, to build and to create, just like you did with the news, with the Chronicle. Just like you did with the Chronicle.
And it's coming, folks. I jumped the gun a little bit. Our editor-in-chief, Kevin Lawman, he is pretty particular about how he wants this to go. So he is putting on the finality of how he wants this to be presented. So it's here. The Chronicle is working. It's ready to go. We are just getting our mission statement together, and so definitely within the next couple of weeks, the Chronicle will be live. We will send this all out on the Red County Blue Nation email, right? The same one where you hear you get the rhino watches and all that stuff, right? There will be an invite to this Chronicle on that. I'm still torn and I don't know what to do, right? I wanted it as a PCP tool so we can reach out, just what we're talking about, this technology, so that we can include the people, but yet how can we afford to do it for free? Like, nothing in this world is free, and people only really respect something when you charge them for it. So we would like to have it for free, but it looks like at some point that it's probably going to have a little bit of a subscription because, it costs, there's cost associated with it, and
Even to help offset the cost would be handy. You know what I mean?
it's funny. People don't, when something is free, they don't respect it.
Right. They don't think there's value to it.
Yeah.
But that thing is
So-
completely valuable. And it's going to come along. We'll get her. His second thing was build back donor confidence and trust.
Is that not what we just spent the last 30 minutes talking about?
And number 3, he says attract and retain conservatives and unaffiliated voters to the party.
I don't know how many people that are decent friends of mine that I asked them, I said, "You want to come to the caucus?" "No, I'm independent."
And then number 4, he's got in here. He says, bring the churches and the young patriots back to the party. And it's very clear that the Republican Party, for what it stands for, is the principles, is healthy. The other side is unhealthy, just plain and simple. We don't have to get into that too much.
No, we've already talked about it.
Number 5 is create robust outreach programs for the youth, the minorities, and the metropolitan voters.
And that, I know you're going down there, but let me talk on this one a minute, right? So
Sure.
this is one of them things where Gene Canterbury works with the young. I don't know exactly if it's the young Republicans or what it is.
It was with the Charlie Kirk thing too, right?
Yeah, the Turning Point. That's what it is.
Turning
Turning Point. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's working with Turning Point up here. Well, she gets Taylor to go talk to him. Well, the principal that's part of the transhumanism deal doesn't even want him to come in the school and talk about this. Well, where the hell did you come from, woman? What do you mean?
These people have been
Like what kind of what does the transhumanisms have to do with anything with any kind of political party? Like, but yet we're supposed to be taught government, and this is part of what the government is, but yet you won't let it in there because you support the transhumanisms. I mean, this is what it's like right in your lap, folks.
It's they're always on the move, and we're just sitting here. They're always moving in a groove, and that dark side is always conniving and positioning and taking control, always. And we're sitting here being very complacent. A lot of men's blood's been spilt for this country, and it's pitiful we can't even get off the couch. The other thing he said down there was make our party fun again. Make
Well,
it fun. Have barbecues and rallies and
Well, yeah, who doesn't like to? I mean, really, let's eat meat and shoot guns.
that's what he says here. He says some shooting events and different things of that nature that are patriotic and 4th of July type stuff, where we know who we are as a nation. We know the character of the nation. We've got to get in positions of influence.
Just so everybody knows, so that them numbers are up. Mike has gotten the call information for tomorrow night on the Zoom. The Zoom is on the website. You can get on there. I mean, Ann passed it to me. I might have a chance to get on there. I mean, I'm so busy. Do you want to hear this? You want to hear what I found out about my transmission? Well, if we're talking about trans,
Only if it's good news, Stephen.
it's terrible.
Oh, I figured.
All right, so I get this rebuilt transmission. I put it in my truck. It's been in there maybe 4,000 miles. Well, it shifted real hard, and I'm thinking to myself, and I'm just so busy. I was going to call the guy. It's supposedly got a 2-year warranty, 24,000 2-year warranty, and I'm just like, I didn't think they put a shift kit in it or whatever. I mean, this son of a gun, when it shifted from first to second, it's boom. I mean, you've ridden it. I'm like, damn, what is going on, right? I'm trying to feather it. When I get it, know it's ready to shift, I try to let off the gas, trying to baby this thing. Well, I'm coming back from taking the frame,
Hauling the stove back.
Well, yeah, taking the frame up to the Springs for the hot rod shop, coming back. Well, I come across the river, and it just like it went into neutral, and I'm like, I didn't touch the gear shift, so I'm fiddling around with it. Well, luckily I get off the side of the road, and I'm thinking, I try all, sometimes that stuff gives up. You can still maybe it'll go into reverse, maybe it'll go into second, maybe it'll just be first. 4-wheel drive, right? I'm trying all the stuff, and it is just, there is nothing. It's an air ball, and I'm like, oh, what the hell is going on? So I call the cavalry, and my dad comes, gets me, and my buddy Laszlo coming with the car hauler, and we get the car home, and so I do a bunch of chat GPT stuff, and I know it's in the torque converter and the pump, and so I do a primary an initial check. Because when you start it, it's making some funny noise. It's not real bad, but you can tell it's not good. So it says, with it stopped, pull the dipstick. Well, the fluid's about this deep. When you start it up, that's why you're supposed to start them with them running. Check it with them running, because then it gets on where it's supposed to be. Well, I pull the stick, check it out, start it up, pull the stick. It ain't doing nothing. So I'm like, yep, it's for sure the pump. Well, I take it apart, pull the converter out. It's got the ear broke off. This is kind of some really rare stuff. The ear on a torque converter, anybody that knows anything about what I'm talking about, it just almost doesn't ever happen. It's just not something, it's like, oh man, they talk about spooks, right? Well, so I finally get to looking in it this morning. When the guy rebuilt it, there's 3 screws that hold the 1-2 accumulator in there. The wire that controls the pressure was under one of them screws, and when he tightened it down, he broke the wire. So the whole time it has full pressure. It never has the brain power to say, yeah, we don't need full pressure right now. Reduce the pressure so when we shift, it doesn't go bam.
It's not so violent.
It went bam. It shifted so hard so many times that we broke the ear off that and shelled the whole pump out of it, all because there was one little wire underneath one of the bolts.
So I don't remember exactly how we did it, but on our race cars, that's what you wanted to happen. You didn't want it to miss any.
But this ain't a race car.
I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying it kind of felt like that. I was like, dang, Steve, this is kind of what we did.
It was like a shift kit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we don't want a shift kit. And so I thought maybe put one in there. Should have tried to call him. Well, so I've been calling him the last 3 days, and I finally figure out, talking with Mike went with me. He's like, yeah, that was the name of the shop, because I got back on Craigslist trying to trace my tracks back to where I got this transmission. So I call this guy Alex's Automobile Repair, whatever. And I'm like, hey, what's going on? And I'm like, is Mark your transmission builder? He's like, Mark is not my transmission builder. He said he just leased a bay out of my shop to rebuild transmissions. And he says, you can't get a hold of him because he's in jail. And he'll be in jail for another week. And I'm thinking to myself, great. So the guy that's supposed to help me with the warranty and the whole 9 yards is in jail. And so I'm just like, yeah. I'm not going to wait 2 weeks to go try to take the transmission up there and beg, borrow, or plead. Because me and Mike were watching him kind of do some stuff, and we didn't think that maybe it was up to snuff very good anyhow. And obviously, that one wire under that bolt screwed up the whole
When you're rebuilding trannies, it's like an operation. You need everything clean, nobody talking to you. Really good light, and methodically. It is so methodical. It's like building motors too, same thing. But trannies even more so. There's so many little rings and ball bearings, and
they're way more complicated than a motor.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the time's getting away from us decent. It's already 20 after 8. I know we were going to talk about peace in Iran. To tell you the truth, I don't know what's going on.
I don't know that anybody does. We've got a pretty rank bull by the horns there. And we bit something off we thought was going to chew a little easier, but it does sound like they got the ships going through now.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, that's what I heard. What do you believe?
Well, and that's
we sunk all their. They ain't got nothing left. They can't even shoot a cap gun at us.
But yet they're out there with rocket launchers blowing them up out there.
They got all these drones and all kinds of raising havoc still. I'm like, now see me, boys.
That's one thing that, not that I support them or whatever, but those people have a whole different. You want to talk about hardness and dedication? They got it.
Well, they're fully persuaded that they need to take the world over. And when you start taking their world over, boy, you got your rat in a corner now.
They ain't soft like the Americans, or most of the Americans,
Yeah.
especially the ones with blue and pink hair.
Yeah, I'm going to say we've got a very healthy group of stout, strong Americans. There's a lot of, there's a lot of different.
It's basically 2-to-1, right? I mean, there's
folks out there.
two good, strong people to every derelict, right?
Boy, I hope it's that good. I mean,
everything that I've seen says it is.
Oh, good. Good. That does my heart a lot of good because
just like the Justice Center. If you look at the Justice Center lines, it was I just looked at that today, 1,600 something to 800 and something, right? So it's still that's that 2-to-1. It's 2-to-1, and I mean, there's education is the key, folks.
Yep.
Right. I mean, trying to belittle someone really doesn't do any good, right? You got to get them to feel confident enough where they will at least entertain and begin to try to process the thoughts that you are putting out there, right? I mean, you can't whip somebody into submission.
Well,
It just doesn't work that way.
right. You just can't.
No, all whipping does is build resentment. You're not gonna explain to someone by whipping them literally.
Well,
right?
I guess when I was a child and I was in error, yeah, I'm just going to tell you. And I got my mind right. And I listen to people now, and I want to do right. These people ain't built that way.
No, that's because they never.
They ain't built that way. I don't
never
know
did.
what the poison is in them, but
I never did have to have a whooping because all my mom had to do was say, "Wait till I tell your dad." Scared the hell right out of me. I just done. Didn't have to have a whooping. Yeah. Never was far enough along to have a whooping. All I needed was
a little encouragement to be good.
Hey, look, this is the consequence of what if you don't pay attention.
Yeah. Well, that's the key, and I think Pappy says that. He says until there's consequences, they're just going to keep rolling.
Got anything else, sir?
So he's got a podcast too.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, it's called The Untamed. It's a podcast. So, and then one other question I had for you, Stephen, so people get it. Who's voting for Joe Oltmann?
So it's only the executive committee. So it's the counties. It's the Republican Central Committee.
So there's 64 counties in Colorado.
Right. And so from our county will be the chair, the vice chair, and the secretary. So Ann, Taylor, and Joni will go. I think it's next Tuesday.
Is it did you say the 30th?
Yeah, is that right? I guess I'm not sure.
I'm not.
I can barely even keep track of myself, let alone what everybody else is
I
doing.
hear you.
But I'm trying to look here.
But he sounds like he's really squared away. He's he don't sound like a real churchgoer, but he sounds like a man of faith. But he's about education big time.
So his podcast, folks, is actually called Untamed Nation.
Yeah.
You can find that right on YouTube, or there's quite a few other.
Yeah, he's got it spread out pretty good.
It's got 1.49K subscribers.
He brings up the issues mainstream media not covering quite as in depth. And he also does. He wants to empower people to make a difference in their community.
Well, and that's what any good leader does, right? Because they know at the end of the day that they can't continue on forever. We need troops. We need capable and qualified people to help make the decision when we're not there. Taylor.
Yeah, they intercede on our behalf, and that's what it's about. But yeah, he's basically kind of where we're at, you know. He says, we stand for the Constitution, and when the government violates our rights, we're ready to fight back. That's what he's got on his podcast thing there.
And that's the way it needs to be, right? I mean, that's the thing that's been so, why we had to go with the attorneys to get Ann and Andrew Zeller to pay attention. Why we'll sue you into oblivion if you do not pay attention. They got so lucky. They voted me three votes to 9. They one more vote, folks, and they would have got sued personally for trying to kick me off for supposedly being anti-Semitic and threatening the commissioners and all of this stuff that was complete horseshit because I was investigated by the sheriff and the DA. And then Zeller has enough wherewithal to try to come up in there and talk about misinformation. And you know he's looking right at us. You're the one that's misinformation, man. I mean, the cops. The cops investigated it. What else you want? Try to come at me about misinformation, man. You're the one stealing Cliff's notes, stealing Cliff's stuff.
Well, and he definitely, he was the one that called the sheriff and said he wanted all them deputies there at Precinct 1 because I was there. And then they had people sitting in the audience, and he made it real clear, boy, if you get out of hand, we're going to subdue you, boy. I'm like, boy, everybody in there, I've been to your houses. They all know me. It ain't. That's the biggest joke I ever heard.
Yeah, let me pull the strings on my plumbing so it starts leaking again. You can call somebody else.
Amen. Christmas. I mean, help. Goodness. That was a huge insult. It was another tactic that they used, and some of the people that drove by said, hey, Jimmy, we weren't even stopping to go in there. We seen all them officers.
And that's the whole thing, right, is that they can't win fair and square. Because nothing they do is fair and square, so they have to resort to these tactics. I mean, I'm just super surprised of the Weld County chair is trying to hit up kiddie porn. Boy.
Well, it's
almost makes you not even want to be a part of any of it.
Well, and that's what the enemy wants is to not.
It is
not to raise that standard.
And that's the thing too. Is it's like if we didn't know better, I would. Right? I would pull the ostrich. I did it for many years. It wasn't until I finally figured out it's like, well, I'm one of the few people that understand what the hell is going on here. And if I don't show somebody else, we're all going down.
Yeah.
The ship is leaking by a million holes. You got four fingers on each hand. Plug 8 holes and maybe one with your thumb.
We need your milk.
Like,
we need your milk.
Because nobody is more disappointed and wants to bury their head more than I do, folks. If you honestly know me, you know that's my personality. I don't care what somebody else is doing. I just want to be left alone. I just want my world to be okay. That's all I care about is my little world. And I'm going to do the best I can in that. So if you really honestly know me, you know that that's my personality. So I'm stepping out of my comfort zone to try to help humanity here.
You're stretching yourself out of your comfort zone.
So with that being said, do your best tomorrow night if you can at 5 o'clock to get on the call with Joe.
And he's got quite a bit of stuff on Facebook too. He's pretty open and transparent.
I would think that that's going to be a very loaded call. I find it hard to believe that they could answer all the questions in an hour, but maybe it'll be a jam-packed hour.
You don't get, I've been on calls like that before. It's more about listening and not really have to, if you get a chance,
Somebody has to-
if they do ask you and you're
Well, and
able to have a question,
I'm thinking
and you're
what-
picked, then that's pretty cool. But other than that, you can't have 27,000 people in an hour or 2 hours. It's 27,000 questions.
Well,
That don't work.
yeah, that's why I'm thinking it's like who's going
You listen.
Who's going to scrape and scratch to be able to actually get the legitimate questions out there?
And I think some of the questions,
For sure, it's all listening. I mean, there's only going to be maybe 15, 20 questions because, hell, that's only 2 to 3 minutes apiece. There's no time there to really address
that's what
everything.
I'm saying. It's more of a listening in than anything. Don't get on there thinking you're gonna, and you get to listen to him. That's the biggest thing is you get to listen to him and evaluate what he's saying and how he responds. That's what it's about more than anything. I do hope that they've got some really good questions. That's the key. That's what I'm hoping. But it's basically about listening to him respond to someone
Hopefully it's
else.
actually organic where it's not just pre-posed questions because that's not what he's saying.
No, I'm not saying they're pre-post.
No, I'm
Not at
just
all.
saying, I mean, that's the whole thing here is who has the bad enough question and makes enough racket that you can actually be heard. That's what this is. That's what I'm thinking in my mind.
So the procedure may be whoever gets in line first maybe be entitled to a question.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know how they're going to orchestrate it. That's his deal. That's what he's good at, is organizing.
Hopefully somebody can check that out. I mean, I might get a chance. I'm not going to say that I will or won't because
I'm not.
Tomorrow is a new day.
I'm buried alive. And there's no way nope, ain't happening. So
I've already lost a week because one guy couldn't pay attention to where the wire was and broke it by tightening the bolt down on it.
now, Stephen, if Nancy was still around, would she be going too?
No, there's
Just
only
those
three.
Just those 3 people.
That's the same. It's the same 3 that go to the state assembly.
The state assembly.
The people that are guaranteed a vote at the table are the
The
executive
chair, the vice chair,
and the secretary.
and the secretary.
Yep.
Got it.
So, with that being said, folks, we'll see you next week.
Thanks.